Stewie Griffin. The genius baby with a British accent, an IQ higher than Einstein's, and a bloodlust that would make a supervillain blush. But there's one question that fans have debated for years. Just how many people has Stewie Griffin actually killed? The answer isn't simple, because Stewie's body count ranges from accidental deaths to deliberate, cold-blooded murders, and even a few reality-bending kills across alternate timelines. From the very first season of Family Guy, Stewie's murderous streak was a defining trait. His main target, of course, was always Lois Griffin. He spent countless episodes devising elaborate schemes to end her life.
Her leg was loose. Isn't that silly? I could have broken mine now.
Damn.
Laser guns, poison, even time-traveling assassination attempts. While most of those attempts fail or reset through cartoon logic, there are a few notable episodes where Stewie does in fact succeed. In Stewie Kills Lois and its follow-up Lois Kills Stewie, the baby actually murders his mother, framing it as the culmination of years of hatred, though naturally the timeline is later erased. Still within that arc, Stewie racks up a terrifying number of kills, including multiple agents, security guards, and even Brian when things get too intense.
Around his neck.
Oh, I'll show you. Ah! Oh my God!
But Stewie's violence isn't limited to his family. Throughout the series, he's shown an alarming lack of remorse toward anyone who gets in his way. In Patriot Games, he brutally beats Brian after losing a bet. Not a kill, but definitely a display of sadistic glee.
That's good, OJ. Yeah, that hurt? That hurt?
What the hell?
Yeah, that don't feel so good, does it? No, huh? Yeah, that's what happens, man.
Oh my God!
Yeah, that's what happens.
Then there's No Meals on Wheels, where Stewie and Brian accidentally set fire to a restaurant full of customers. Again, it's unclear how many people actually die, but the implication is not good.
Fetch thing with that Lady Guga.
Uh-huh, that's wrong. Anyway, the restaurant's gonna go under if you keep giving away food.
All right, all right.
Thank you, Frank. I appreciate you trying it my way.
One of his most infamous confirmed kills comes from Chitty Chitty Death Bang, the episode where he blows up an entire cult.
Hey, Stewie, make a wish. If you blow out the candle, it'll come true.
That's right, little buddy. What do you want most in the whole world?
Casually adding dozens to his record before toddling home for cake.
Oh, what the hell?
Then we move into the multiverse, because with Stewie's time machine and parallel universe portal, his chaos expands beyond a single reality.
Seems we're in a universe where everything is drawn by Disney.
Look, there's our house.
In Road to the Multiverse and The Big Bang Theory, no, not the sitcom, Stewie and Brian bounce through time and alternate versions of history, leaving destruction in their wake. Stewie kills other versions of himself, vaporizes guards, and in one timeline, wipes out an entire army with his advanced weaponry. It's unclear whether those alternate universe deaths count, but for the sake of his moral rap sheet, let's just say the cosmic balance isn't tipping in his favor.
You just talked to yourself. Won't that alter the past?
Don't worry, Brian. If I was successful in restoring the past...
Of course, not every kill is intentional. Sometimes Stewie's victims are just collateral damage from his inventions gone wrong. His mind control ray, weather manipulator, and teleportation device have all caused catastrophic outcomes. In one gag, his ray gun misfires and explodes a bystander. In another, a cloning experiment goes horribly wrong, ending with evil Stewie getting vaporized by his kinder counterpart. It's almost poetic. Stewie literally kills a version of himself. Psychologists, take note. But there are moments when Family Guy actually acknowledges the horror of Stewie's actions. Episodes like Brian and Stewie humanize him, showing guilt, loneliness, and a surprising amount of empathy. These emotional beats make his murderous tendencies even more fascinating. It's not just mindless violence. It's a blend of genius, insecurity, and the desperate search for control in a world that treats him like a baby. One minute he's plotting to destroy the world, the next he's cuddling Rupert, his teddy bear, like a lost child. That duality makes his character so compelling and unpredictable. If we were to tally up a conservative estimate, factoring in direct kills, confirmed on-screen deaths, and implied mass casualties, Stewie's body count likely lands somewhere between 30 and 60, but if we include alternate timelines, simulations, and destroyed realities, that number skyrockets, possibly into the hundreds. It's cartoon logic at its finest. Death isn't always permanent, consequences reset every episode. And somehow, Stewie remains everyone's favorite pint-sized sociopath. One of the more intriguing patterns in Stewie's killings is how his motives evolve. Early on, it's pure domination and hatred. "Victory is mine" was his battle cry. But as the series progressed, his personality softened. He became less of a villain and more of a neurotic genius with flashes of humanity. In later seasons, his kills are often played for comedy rather than menace. Instead of trying to destroy the world, he's experimenting with music, fashion, or bizarre sci-fi inventions. Yet that violent edge never disappears entirely. It just hides under layers of sarcasm and wit. Then there are his iconic Road to Buck episodes with Brian, where Stewie's intelligence and moral conflict take center stage. These episodes often show him as more of an adventurer than a killer, though there's always some collateral damage, be it robots, guards, or entire cities in alternate timelines. The Road to Germany episode, for instance, casually involves time travel to World War II. And yes, Stewie ends up gunning down Nazis. It's absurd, hilarious, and somehow still horrifying if you think too hard about it. But beyond the jokes, Stewie's murderous streak can also be read as a clever satire of pop culture's obsession with violence and power. He's the ultimate parody, a baby acting like a Bond villain, complete with gadgets, world domination plans, and melodramatic monologues. Seth MacFarlane uses Stewie as both a character and a mirror, exaggerating human ego and ambition to cartoonish extremes. And yet, despite all the bloodshed, we love him. Because at his core, Stewie is less about killing and more about control. Control over his world, his family, and his fragile sense of identity. Every time he kills someone, or tries to, it's as if he's fighting against the very thing he can't change. The fact that he's a baby in a world that won't take him seriously. That's what makes his violence oddly relatable, in a dark, comedic way. We've all wanted control over something beyond our reach. Stewie just happens to have access to plasma rifles and time machines. Stewie Griffin's story isn't just about a cartoon baby with a thirst for chaos. It's an evolving character study wrapped in outrageous comedy. When Family Guy first aired in 1999, Stewie was introduced as a pure evil genius, fixated on matricide and world domination. His advanced vocabulary, mechanical genius, and violent tendencies were played for shock humor. But as the show grew older, so did he, in spirit, if not in age. The Stewie we see now is far more layered. He still builds death rays and time machines, but he also sings Broadway songs, ponders his sexuality, and questions his own existence. Somewhere between explosions and insults, Stewie became one of the most emotionally rich characters in animated television. This development makes his kills even more fascinating. Early on, Stewie's murders were acts of pure evil, like when he annihilated an entire cult in Chitty Chitty Death Bang, or vaporized a random pedestrian who got in his way. But in later seasons, his violence often serves as a coping mechanism, a reaction to rejection or emotional vulnerability. His intelligence isolates him, and his destructive behavior becomes a dark, comedic manifestation of that loneliness. Killing, or attempting to, gives him a false sense of control. Every time Lois ignores him or Brian mocks him, it fuels that internal rage. Yet every so often we see cracks in his armor, moments when he regrets his actions, or at least reflects on them with a surprising degree of self-awareness. One of the most chilling and underrated moments comes from The Hand That Rocks the Wheelchair. Stewie clones himself, creating Bitch Stewie, who ultimately turns on him. In a fight for dominance, Stewie kills his clone, a version of himself that represents everything dark and unrestrained about his personality.
Get back to the present and stay there!
Look, just calm down.
Ah! You gonna flap your lips, or you gonna do what I said?
Okay.
Thank God!
You just talked to yourself. Won't that alter the past?
Don't worry, Brian. If I was successful in restoring the past just now, you and I will never have existed.
It's symbolic in the best way. Stewie killing a literal embodiment of his worst instincts. In that moment, the writers let us glimpse something profound. The battle between intellect and morality inside his tiny but terrifying mind. There's also the ongoing paradox between Stewie's genius and his immaturity. He's a baby who can build time machines, yet he throws tantrums when he can't get a cookie.
Ow! Screw you, you little turd!
That contradiction is central to his chaos. His brilliance gives him the power to destroy, but his childish emotions dictate when and why he uses it. He's like a nuclear weapon controlled by a toddler, which, in a sense, is exactly what he is. And then there's his relationship with Brian, the family dog and Stewie's closest companion. It's one of the most nuanced dynamics in Family Guy. Together, they've committed countless questionable acts: arson, murder, theft, and even time manipulation. Yet Brian is also the only one who challenges Stewie's morality. In Brian and Stewie, trapped inside a bank vault, we see the emotional side of their bond. Stewie admits to feelings of fear and loneliness, shedding the evil genius persona for a moment of vulnerability. This emotional complexity makes his later acts of violence even more striking, because it's not just cartoon villainy. It's the behavior of a character who's aware of his darkness but doesn't quite know how to escape it. Some of Stewie's murders also highlight the absurd logic of cartoon worlds. He's killed countless side characters who later reappear as if nothing happened. The continuity doesn't matter. It's all part of the show's surreal, elastic universe. But when Family Guy chooses to take a death seriously, like in Life of Brian, where Stewie fails to save Brian after he's hit by a car, it hits hard. Stewie's grief feels real, as does his desperation when he tries to rebuild the time machine to undo it. That episode alone shows that under the layers of sarcasm and violence, there's genuine emotion driving his actions. Another angle worth exploring is how Stewie's violence mirrors society's obsession with control and dominance. He's constantly seeking power over his family, over the world, even over time itself. Every invention he builds reflects a human desire taken to the extreme, to reverse mistakes, to conquer fear, to be acknowledged. It's no coincidence that his main target is Lois, the one person who constantly belittles or ignores him. Killing her, or trying to, symbolizes his struggle for validation. In his mind, destroying the source of his frustration is the only way to gain autonomy. Yet deep down, he craves her approval just as much as he wants her gone. Television's most beloved characters. So, how many people has Stewie Griffin really killed? The answer depends on how deep into the multiverse you're willing to go. Maybe it's 30, maybe it's 300, maybe the real number doesn't matter, and because every explosion, laser shot, and diabolical laugh reminds us why Stewie remains one of TV's most brilliantly twisted creations. Genius, villain, philosopher, and eternal infant, he's done it all. And somewhere in Quahog, a tiny voice is probably whispering right now, "You will rue this day. Victory is mine." Like, share, and subscribe for more deep dives into the mystery world of Family Guy.